and he's often connected to Saturn. In the old grimoires it was always Tzaphkiel, but it was more in the Tree of Life where Tzaphkiel came about, and I've always felt very close to him. Being a Capricorn rising, you have a strong connection with Saturn. And he helps you to make wise decisions and to get a clear message across, to stay calm in the eye of a storm, whether it's emotional storm or something you created or something. And you might be emotionally really torn apart. And to set up emotional boundaries. And to expand all kinds of boundaries in your life. When you want to break boundaries and make them bigger in all areas. And can aid you with seeing clearly where you need to set up boundaries and where to expand them if you, in a relationship, in your workplace, all kinds of things. And just as in a farm, you need to have strong boundaries so the animals know and feel safe. So they can trust you. Animals need boundaries to feel the trust and love and feel safe. So it's the same with humans. Creating a safe haven. Setting up boundaries with only a few words and a strong will. And this is quite... it's quite forceful. You don't ramble, you just say no and yes, and you're very clear on that point, and you say this is not accepted, and that stays. That's how short that it is. But that's when you align with your heart and gut and mind, and you really have that this is it and nothing else. And when you need emotional protection quickly, he's the Archangel to call. And he also can help you to reflect upon the situation without any emotional distraction. And to really understand the boundaries in your life, why and how how to make something, set up boundaries and take down, and all these kinds of things, so you really understand the deep need to have boundaries or not to have boundaries, so you really feel and know and can live with the difference there. And something that many people lack in this day and age, and it's enjoying stillness and peace. And I'm not talking about having incense and looking at the candle. I'm meaning you can sit in a completely dark room without candle, without incense, and enjoy your life. No books, nothing, not panicking. I notice that many people who start to feel like they are in isolation, tank and freak out after already half an hour, 2 hours, and they start to hallucinate. And this is just being in whatever area you are, whether it's in a bomb shelter or no electricity or whatever, but still finding the stillness and peace within and just being peaceful. And it's a very good skill to have, especially in turbulent times. When you have incense, you can smell, and that's smell and taste are two senses that babies rely on as well. But when you take out these senses, it gets more difficult. That's why I say to practice something without smell or any senses. So it's complete darkness and no incense, no distractions, just being there. No mantras, nothing, just stillness. And to understand the wisdom of time, just accepting time and knowing that time doesn't exist, but also the importance of time and how to use time wisely, and so on. There is magic to expand time and so on, but this is to understand the concept of time. And he gives power to the written word very clearly. It's factual, it's straight, and it's as long as it's true what you're writing. And aids with getting a clear message out without emotional distress. And that's something that people now use for their own benefits. They put in their own emotions into their writing, what they feel about things too much. And that makes, that's why I make videos, I'm not a writer. And if I should write, it gets just cold since I take all the emotions out, so that's a skill to being a writer. But when you want a really clear message and you don't want to push your own emotions upon others, since you don't want to have the sympathy of others, you don't want to enforce free will, you just want them to get a clear message so they can make a wise choice. You don't add on your own emotional and your own thoughts and feelings to everything. And he's very good with that. Then, of course, when you talk about love and those kind of things and write books about love and emotional healing, that's a different thing. But getting a very important message out without emotions. And then there's the quality of deep wisdom, just staying in there, accepting what you've done wrong, accepting how you, and really learning from your past mistakes and growing from them. And unless you make mistakes and have failures, you don't gain any wisdom. You have theoretical knowledge, but you don't have any wisdom unless you fail some ways, so you can really get that wisdom. And failure can be small, but you have to learn from it. And Serenity. And he's an amazing, wonderful, great angel to work with. And I hope that many, especially in areas where there is a lot of turmoil, would call upon him, since he is to get the wisdom even when you're in emotional distress, and to see clearly even through the most horrifying emotional things is a true superpower. And he's great. Have a magical, magical day. Bye for now.